Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm coming at you today from the floor. You are actually on the couch. I let you have the nice seat so we could just have a little sit down and I could tell you a nice little tale of something that happened to me, within the last year. So let me paint the picture for you. Let me tell you the time, the place, the emotion of it all. So this was about 6 months ago. I was just living my male life. I was there at the beach with my friend. Me and this friend are close. You probably, if you have me on any social media, like any Snapchat specifically, you've probably seen my friend. And me and him have, we go way back and we just always have such a ridiculous time whenever we do anything. So this was just, a nice night. We were out at the beach just trying to like have a moment, like talk, just relax. And we happened to just be sitting on like this sidewalk, boardwalk, like a place where people were just walking by, we were just people watching and like talking and just having a nice moment. It was late, it was dark, but there were street lights. So this friend and I had just been having a pleasant little time, sitting there and just, vibing to it all. So we happened to just, be looking around and then we see these two men. One man is in the wheelchair and one man is just like dancing around. I actually, we were just like looking at them and we happened to see that they had like a cardboard thing that said, some things on it. I couldn't really read it, but I knew they were carrying a cardboard sign. So actually then both men were like getting in and out of the wheelchair, just kind of like dancing around it. Like, I guess they had had a few drinks, okay? Like, I mean, I had two, but I mean, they were, getting along. So, I don't know, it was just what it was, and we were just like speculating on them, like, who are these two men? What are they doing here? Like, they're being, rowdy right in front of us. Like, we're sitting on this little, like, ledge, and they're just like 10 feet in front of us, like, having this crazy time, and we're like, what? And then I want to also mention one of these men, is a little shorter, has no shirt on, and was just like there. I don't think he had any kind of cast or anything. I think he was just wearing pants and had no shirt on. But I was just speculating with my friend. We're like, oh, like he's kind of hot. Like, look at that guy. Like, that guy is kind of hot. And so he was just, there, like, and doing his thing. And then he slowly but surely comes over to me and my friend. I don't know, we're gay. I don't know if we like really came across as gay, but we were there, we were just watching. And so the guy comes over and he starts talking to me and my friend. He's like, just starts talking to us, his friend is like with the wheelchair, like he's like being crazy. Like, imagine him like spinning it like a freaking basketball. Like, that's how crazy he was getting with the wheelchair. And I'm just like, okay, cool. And I'm talking to the other guy, the guy with no shirt, and I'm like, okay, cool. And he's talking to us about his life, and he was telling me about how he had been hit by a truck. Like, I always like think that would sound like such a like exaggeration, but he genuinely got hit by a truck, and that's like really serious. Like, he was explaining to me how it was like he was just walking down the street and he like had to get a crazy surgery. So he really did need the wheelchair, but he just like could walk, but he still needed the wheelchair, like, because he couldn't constantly be walking. I don't know, but he was in really good shape. Like, I was looking at him and I'm like, you're in shape for like a homeless guy that got hit by a truck. Like, you're doing really good. And so he's talking to me and my friend, and I noticed that he's actually kind of like more talking to me. Like, I was like, oh wait, like he's talking to me a little more. Like, I didn't even know anything at this point. I'm just like, oh, this guy's talking to us, it's cool, but I think he's kind of cute. And then he's talking to me more. He starts putting his hand on my leg, and I'm like, oh, like something is happening here. Like, I see what's going on. Like, so this guy is, feeling it. Like, he's into like the Frank vibe. I'm like, okay, like, this is cool. I mean, my self-esteem at this very point in time, I was feeling like I needed some validation. I was like, maybe I could use some appreciation. So this guy coming up and appreciating me, I was like, this is nice. Like, I am enjoying this. Okay. I'm reciprocal. And I mean, the guy was attractive, what can I say? He had a really vibrant personality as well. Like, he was pretty negative, like saying negative things that had happened to him, like how he had like lost like his lover. Like, he described his last lover and like told me that he had died of AIDS, and it was really hard for him, and you know, it was really like a heartfelt moment. So me and my friend are there, like, you know, we're having this interaction. My friend sees that the guy's interested in me, but you know, we really weren't gonna do anything about that. Like, you know, me and my friend were just hanging out. And but actually my friend brings up the idea, like, hey, why don't we actually get him some food? You know, like, we should just get him like a little like snack, like meal at one of these bars nearby. And I'm like, that's a great idea, like, let's go do that. Like, I love that. So we go. I'm like, hold on just 1 second, like, wait, you know, like, we'll be back. And he waits. He like chills with his friend, and we go and get him. Like, we split, like, just getting him like a sandwich and some fries and like a little drink, and we're like, cool, you know, we're good people. Like, this is our karma. Like, we're making good karma, whatever. So but you know, we just wanted to do that. Like, it was cool. But my friend was wanting to stay at that little bar that we were getting the sandwich at, and he's like, oh, all these people are like talking to me, and like, he was having a little celebrity moment. Like, everybody was just like fixated on him. So he's like, I'm here for a second. I'm like, okay, don't worry, I'm gonna just like bring the sandwich to the guy. Like, I'm just gonna take him the sandwich. And he's like, okay, cool. So we had to separate for a second. So I go back over to the homeless guy. I'm not gonna use his name, even though I know it. But actually, I should. His name was Christopher, and if he ever sees this video, Christopher, you're still hot. So anyway, I go over to Christopher. He's now sitting in his wheelchair. He put a shirt on, which I was sad to see. He put a shirt on, and I go over to him, and I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? And he's like, I'm really mad. Like, my friend was like left my wheelchair like sitting in the sidewalk, like somebody could have taken it, because it had his documents and stuff in it, and like all his life was like in that wheelchair. And I'm like, wow. So he was like upset, but I'm like, no, it's okay, like, your friend probably didn't mean that, you know, he didn't mean to like leave your wheelchair, and like, he's just drunk, and like, you know. And he's like, yeah. And I was like consoling him, and it was just like a little moment. Like, I was like, just, you know, being like, just having a little like one-on-one with him, you know, trying to like make him feel okay, because he had a lot to deal with in his life, and you know, I get it. So I gave him the food, and he was like, oh my god, like, thank you for the food. And I'm like, yeah, I want you to like, you know, enjoy that meal. So he's like, oh, can you push my wheelchair to where I'm sleeping tonight, like under the bridge? And I'm like, oh, like, you know, okay, like, wow, you know. So I'm like, sure, like, of course I'll do that. So because he could have pushed the wheelchair, like, he could walk, but he wanted to like sit with the food in his lap. So I pushed him. I'm like, you know, I'm gonna do it. So I'm pushing him like towards where he needs to go. Like, my friend is still at the bar. Like, we separated. I'm like, oh, bye, friend. Like, talk to you soon, hopefully. So I'm just like pushing the guy. His other friend is just like chilling. Like, he's like talking to other people. He was like trying to like find some kind of substance. Like, I'm not gonna even get into it. But so I'm pushing the other guy, you know, like, we had our moment. I pushed him towards like the bridge area that he was gonna sleep, and he starts like making comments to me. Like, he's like, wow, you know, you're so sweet, like, you know, I love like your energy. And I'm like, oh, like, this guy's being so sweet to me. He's like romancing me. And he's like, but then he's like, oh, if you know, if you, like, I don't know what he said. He was like, if you wanted to, like, I would take you over to the bridge. Like, I would take you over by the bridge, and we would like do stuff, like, you know, making like comments at me, like saying like basically he wanted to go like have a fun time under the bridge. And I'm like, oh, you know, as tempting as that is, like, I think I'm gonna just have to, like, you know, be good and like go back to my friend, you know, like, maybe another time. But the guy was really sweet, and I ended up giving him my email address, and because my phone wasn't connected, and I'm like, hey, you know, send me an email if you ever like need anything, like, you know, I don't know, I can help you sometime, or like come see you. And So then like he was there and he was like, wow, like I would marry you, like you're so special to me. I'm like, oh my god, like this guy was like sober, like, and he was just like being really sweet, and I was like, wow, you're really sweet, you know. Like we like, you know, you didn't choose to be homeless, you didn't choose to get hit by a truck, you know, you didn't choose for like your life to end up where it is right now, like to be where it is at this point in time. And you know, you don't deserve that. Like nobody deserves to go through circumstances that are really difficult like that. Like I want everybody to have a nice easy life, and it sucks that there are people that have to go through so many harsh things. I don't think anybody deserves it. So, so I'm there with the guy, and I'm like, you know, I have to go. Like, you know, we exchanged our little emails and stuff, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I have to go. I have to go back to my friend, you know. So he's gonna like push himself back to the rest, like to the bridge that's like close by, and he's gonna eat his food, and I'm just like, you know, so I'll see you later. And he's like, and he like is like putting his arm on me. He's like, you know, he like was clearly very into me. Like that's all I can express. And I was like really endeared by it. I was like, oh, like you're such a sweet guy, because he was like telling me all his like life, and then he's like really sweet, and I don't know, I'm not used to being treated really sweet by men, okay, that are attractive. Okay, all right, I have to admit. So so I don't know what came over me, but I leaned down and I just like touched his face, and I leaned in and I gave him a very sweet kiss. Like it was like a, you know, very personal, very lip interaction, a little bit of tongue kind of kiss. Like I put like some feeling into it. I was just like sending him some very positive, very comforting, very like I accept you and I like appreciate you as a person kind of energy. And I was like letting him know, I'm like, you could get it, you know, like you're hot. So I did have like that little moment with him. And then so we stopped kissing and I like separate from him, and he's like, wow, like wow, I wouldn't have expected that like that would happen, or like wow, like I can't believe you. And then crazy Frank, I go back in, like I give him one more kiss. I'm like, like one more kiss, you sexy old hobo. And then I let it be, and he's like, okay, wow. And I'm like, yeah, like I'm sorry, I really have to go, like please take care, like I really hope you do well, like I really hope in the future everything like, you know, can pan out better for you, because you deserve that, and like just take care. And he's like, you too, like wow. And he was just like having his own moment, and I just like felt really good about that. I was like, that felt really nice, and like it filled me up with like a really happy feeling. Like I just felt really happy after that. So I go back and I try to find my friend, and my friend is there, like was like, what the hell happened to you, like where did you go? I'm like, sorry, I was just like, you know, having fun, like making out with the hobo. But like, you know, I didn't really get into how deep of an interaction it was for me. So it was just like all fun and everything. And the other friend was like around, and he's like, where did my friend go? And I'm like, oh, he went back to the bridge. And he was like a mess. Like he was just all over the place. Like I don't know what, like how much he had been drinking that night, but I'm like, you know, it's that way, so I hope he found his way back to the friend. And he was pretty nice. I think he was kind of hitting on me too, actually, but I was like, oh, I really have to go, I'm sorry. Like I guess they were like, you know, that kind of group. But I mean, anyway, he was fun, but I had a thing for the other one. So you know, we parted, and me and my friend went off, and I told him everything, and you know, it was overall just like a really great night, and it really just like was one of those little experiences that just kind of like stayed with me. So I felt like it would be a good little story time. And I don't know what the moral of this story is, I don't know what the lesson here is. I guess it's just that like no matter who you are, like everyone is a person, and everyone has beauty inside them, and everyone deserves to be appreciated and shown that they have value. So it's not like me taking pity on this homeless guy. I was into the homeless guy. Like, he was hot. I didn't care. Like, people told me, like, ew, you made out with a homeless guy? Like, he could have been dirty. I'm like, I don't care. Like, he's a person to me. Like, I didn't, you know, I'm not looking at it like that. So I like to clarify, you know, I like to, like, over-clarify every little facet. But, yeah. So let me know what if you guys have had any kind of experiences like that, I guess, that were just like so out of nowhere but like left you feeling something, or just like something crazy like that. Like, you know, I love your little stories. I mean, do you think that I was like okay for doing that? Do you think that it was wrong? Everyone has opinions, you know. There's this quote, like, for anybody out there that ever like post something and like gets received not like in the best way, like that's happened to me, where like I'll post something and then people will be like, you suck, and I'm like, okay, like, all right, you think that. But there was this quote, I don't know who even said it. It was like, you can be the most sweet, beautiful, delicious peach in the world, and there will always be somebody that doesn't like peaches. And I'm like, oh, that's okay. Like, that's what it is. So, you know, for all of you out there that are so sweet to me and say such beautiful things to me and just have these beautiful, special interactions with me and sticking around and watching these videos and just being there, it means a lot, and it's really beautiful, and I really appreciate it. And it's just something that I really have had to take a moment to like value and just really respect and appreciate that, and be like, wow, thank you so much for watching my video. And for people that don't like me, hey, you know what, that's okay. Like, we're all allowed to make choices and have preferences for things, and if you don't like me, that's your choice. If you watch this whole video and you still don't like me, like, okay, that's a whole other thing. But if you did, thanks so much, and I hope the love has come across, because I'm sending it. So I'm gonna try to get my mom to come over here. Like, Mom, we gotta do that makeup, Mom. Come on, time for that transformation. So we'll see. And I love you guys so much. I'll see you in the next video. If you really want to see my daily life kind of crap, it's really on Snapchat. Just gotta say that. Like, do a little self-promo. My Snapchat is popping. It's not really that permanent. You know, it deletes after 24 hours. But sometimes on Instagram, Snapchat. So, okay. See you guys soon. I love you so much. Have a great day. Have a great life. And I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.